Hey everyone, Jim D. Graham with RCGroups.com. I'm super stoked to talk about Joe Nall 2024 and my trip, my photos, my videos, and all the people I got to talk to. I need to say some special thanks right off the top. First, we need to thank, since this is the RC News, CNHL, the RC News sponsor. They make lipos and they always have great deals going on. So go check them out. There'll be a link below and you can just click it and go straight in. Next, I need to thank the event coverage sponsor of Joe Nall for RC Groups, and that is Zap Adhesives. Zap is a glue that I've used my whole career in the hobby, and they have the Zap app, which will allow you to know what glue you need exactly to use. And so big thanks to them. Also, I have two more people to thank. I'm trying to keep it straight here. I have to thank Hightech. Hightech was our shirt sponsor, and I go into pretty good depth in the video that you're about to watch. About every year for around 20 years, we've given away event shirts for free. You stand in line, we have it all set up. And this year we had the idea that we would have a special shirt. And if you got the special shirt, you also win a Hightech charger. Everyone loved it so much. Look for an enhancement to that next year. Hightech is the shirt sponsor, and they help me get everything printed. I sit back and make the design, and I had a little design issue this year. We'll talk about that in the broadcast. Be sure and watch. It's a little behind the scenes intel. And then we get the shirts and give them away. So anyway, thanks to Hightech. Big thanks to Suzanne. Always a pleasure working with you. Big stuff. And then hopefully I've got it all here. Big thanks to the crew at Triple Tree who take care of me and make sure I have all the things I need to do my job down there. They're always so nice and accommodating. And often Wes on the video, very funny. I was watching the video that Wes shot of the line for the t-shirt giveaway, and I was like, this guy's hilarious. But they take care of you, they take care of us, and they're volunteers, and it's the largest RC event in the world. It's, I think, the greatest RC event in the world, and they make it effortless and beautiful. Also, big thanks to my we'll talk about that later. I almost got I almost got stuck, but thanks to my truck that I bought, I was saved and could get in and out efficiently. You'll see the rain. You'll see smoky 3D tail dips in the water. You'll see the people of Joe Nall. You'll see product releases. You'll see little snippets of interviews. There's a lot to watch here. Hopefully we capture it all. There's no way to really do that. All right, on with the show. Hey everyone, it's Jim T. Graham and Jason Cole from RCGroups.com. What's happening, Jason?
What's going on, man? I'm sad I didn't get to be where you were last week, but I'm excited to hear about it.
Well, that is exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to go over Joe Nall. We're going to look at photos. We're going to share some videos. Also, breaking news coming out of the field that I got to be a part of. And I got to hang out with Jason Merkel. And I'll show you why. I shot a video for my wife of this storm that went through. And then I was like, I'm just going to put it in the footage. Well, let's start out where I drove my 5.5 hours or whatever and got up to the gate. And the minute I pulled up to go check in with Ginger, who I have a picture of.
And we're talking about Joe Nall 2024, the world's largest RC aircraft event in the world, right? I mean, it's got to be.
And before I went on, I should have gotten numbers, but I know that the numbers were exceeding the last Joe Nall. And I'll put that in some data here. I'm not going to say anything until I have hard facts, and then I'll put it in the feature, and that way we can look at them. But it was stacked and packed. And the minute I pulled up to the gate at Joe Nall, and Jason, I made sure my AMA card was current.
Oh, yeah, that's important.
I've pulled up to the gate before. I've done it. So this is 21 years, I think, that I've been going to Joe Nall.
Yep.
And I have years just driven up and said hello, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" And so ultimately, someone got on the radio and said, "Yes, let Jim Graham from RC Groups in." But I made sure I had all the stuff. And when I walked, or I didn't walk, it just went like this: a boosh downpour.
Oh,
so.
Yeah.
If any of you have watched any of our videos in the past, you know that Jason and I and Miss Ashley used to travel around in the big black truck, and it was a big Ford 2-wheel drive. And I realized immediately I'd sold it this Christmas and bought a 4-wheel drive Toyota 4Runner. And I thought, oh my gosh, if I didn't have this 4Runner, I would not be leaving this where I'm pulled over at. you know?
Yeah. That place can get muddy in a hurry.
Yeah. So anyway, it stopped raining. I put on my cowboy hat, walked out, and hugged Miss Ginger. Got in my golf cart. And what we're going to look at today are I'm going to walk you through the event from the main line, the 3D line, the water, the people, and then I also have some pretty cool videos because at one point I was like, I need to start shooting just little pieces of awesomeness and then see what I can string together. And I don't know if Jason's seen much of this, but where should I begin? Let's start with the video. I'm going to share the screen now. So this is a lot of my coverage. Things to be aware of and not miss is we're going to talk about the shirts and then my interview with Jason Merkel. We will not watch all of that, but we'll watch a little of that. And Jason, just like my previous interview that you shot, this thing is taken off pretty rapidly. So
yeah, cool.
Jason and I were discussing the high interest in this video and between the planes, the venue, and I don't know, it's good stuff. Yep. Miss Karen uploaded a slew of photos. She was the 3D line queen of photos. And so we'll take a look at that. And there's so many photos, it'll take you a while.
Yeah, Miss Ken. Yep, for sure.
And this was in memory. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
So then we have the photo flood. So let's just start out with the video. It gives a great overview of what Joe Nall is. And like I was at a party yesterday and they're like, I don't understand. And I just showed them this video, and they're like,
and you're like, mind blown.
And I thought, oh, I better get some pictures. If it's
that's low, Jace Ducia flying right there, one of the best pilots in the world.
I'd say he is the best RC pilot in the world at this point in the game.
For 3D flying, yeah, for sure.
So, and then this is a great reference as to what everyone asks, how big are these planes? They're that big. They're like the size of a room.
Yeah. And it's a whole family involved. So that's his dad and his mom right there with him.
And the worn out story is I was in Michigan years ago and his dad walked up and said, are you Billy Hale? And Jace was just a little kid. And so they've been in this hobby forever.
Yep.
Little tail dip right there.
Yep. Getting a little wet.
We're going to jump out of this. This will be over in just a second. And then we're going to, I believe the next cut maybe is the rain. So this is the rainstorm. And it's not very long. I shot this for my wife, but it really knocked us out. And so we also have videos from down on the electric line. We're going to talk to Jason Merkel. And this is just jetness. This is the other thing that wows people. They're like, is that a real jet? It is a real jet. It's just, 3/4 size or half size.
Yeah. And you'll never, even at like jet only events, you'll never see as many jets at those events as you will at this event.
It was very dominated by jets this year on the main line.
Yeah.
Hey, guess who I saw, Jason? Colton Clark.
Colton, yeah.
And Colton looks so. I've known Colton a long time, and he was youngish when I met him. And then when I saw him, I thought that cannot be Colton because he still looks young. He looks the same. But I was like, Colton, is that you?
I think the last time I saw Colton, he was still working for Tyler Perry.
Speaking of Colton, this is him right here.
There he is. Yeah. What's up, man? Flying a big boy jet.
And so this is just two jets taking off, but it's just so cool. I'll turn it up a little bit.
The smoke and everything, man. So good.
And he gave me the money, man. He was doing these hyper low laps down, slow grass drags. And the video might have gotten it. My camera missed it by like a half a second. I missed him dragging that flap on the ground.
And this footage is from the noontime demo show?
Yeah.
Is that what that was?
Okay.
Yeah.
We're about out of all my little snippets off my phone. This is Up the Hill, Bluegrass Band.
Picking.
I was sitting here shooting this and somebody goes, get up there, show them how to do it, Billy Hale.
It really is like such a unique place. If you haven't been, you just got to go. We keep telling you every year you have to go to Joe Nall. Just finally do it.
And then there's the lake. And then we'll share some Hobby King releases, which was a great idea and got tons of people interested in it.
Yeah, they did a really cool thing. They were like releasing like a one plane a day for like 5 days straight or something. That was pretty neat.
So this is the we've been giving t-shirts away at least 20 years now.
Yep.
And so this is the line and the setup.
Hey y'all, it's Tim T. Graham, the 3D line and the t-shirt line, telling everyone about shirts. Where are y'all from?
South Florida. South Florida.
Oh,
Myrtle Beach.
So are y'all as wild as you're supposed to be?
I don't think so, but
No.
He is.
he is.
Oh, we appreciate
All right, you always wear that.
And then I keep asking people where they're from.
Nice big line.
Good afternoon. So we're live down here at the 3D line for the Hightech Flying Giants RC Group's t-shirt giveaway. So this is a big thing every year. As you can see, we've got a huge line all the way back to the bathhouse. Everybody get those free
Wes gets kind of funny here.
There's a little special twist to it. So
Yeah.
Mr. Jim Graham with RC Groups will explain that to you. So it's a little.
So this year I had this idea that we would, I didn't know how I was going to do it, but if you got the right shirt, you'd win a charger. Yeah. And I walked down the line and I shared this news with everyone and they would look at me. And then when I said, and you might win a free charger, they all would grin. And I was like, wow, they really like this. So, and you'll see the winner here in a minute, but after it was all said and done, also, I got to say right here, thanks to Hightech for being our t-shirt sponsor this year.
And you're wearing it right now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Okay.
Hey,
I got to
Does
tell a
say,
story here.
Where's the event
Okay,
date and stuff?
So here's the story, y'all. I'm going to come clean. I started this design out with the Joe Nall at the top. And then I wanted to have two shirts. Let me go here. I got to get my cursor on the right window. So I wanted to have two planes doing a show pass. And I built it. And the shirts came, and every year it's a big deal. I have to go see, are the shirts here? Yes. Are they all here? Correct.
Because they ship directly to the event. We don't get to see them until we get there.
Maddie at Athens Printing did it for me. Maddie's done it for me for years and years. He'll contact me at the right time and say, are you ready to go? And I'll make a design and get all approved and we'll get it going. And so I did all the things. Then we got down and I was like, do I have enough shirts for this line? So the big news is that we had the precise amount of shirts for the line. Perfect. It was really, really impressive. Like the last person went through and then everyone giving out shirts had their shirts and that was gone. The boxes were, that never happened. And I have my shirt on. I'm like, it's over. We gave away the charger. So the guy with the charger, what I did was, this is inside information, y'all. I pinned a note in the right sleeve and it was for me saying, you want a charger with my signature. And then I said to my folks helping me with the shirts, by the way, thanks to everyone who helps me give away shirts. There's no way I can do it by myself. It's impossible. Definitely. And take pictures and talk to everyone. So I said, take this shirt, we'll put it somewhere in the middle and then just make sure it's kind of poking out. So when it goes, right? And I would look over and they were like pointing at a guy who was oblivious to the massive amount of pointing at him. And so I start walking behind him just to wait to see when he's going to find it. And he looks in the wrong sleeves and just starts to leave. And I'm like, has everyone looked in their sleeves? Look in your right sleeve. It's in the right sleeve. And I'm like, so finally, I put my hand on his shoulder and I said, did you look in the sleeve? And he goes, I don't think I want anything. And I said, let's take another look. And he's like, hey, I won.
I got it.
Well, nice. The only issue with that is if he'd have left, we couldn't give it away.
Never know.
Right. Which is for next year. I'll know this. So he got us. Okay. So here's the end of a surprising tale. It's about an hour later and I'm up at the electric line, drinking water. And this is when I was like, oh man, I'm like hot because it was crazy hot. And one of the Hightech guys goes, hey, I just got a question. And I'm like, sure. And he goes, why doesn't the shirt say Joe Nall? And I said, it does say Joe Nall right here. And I looked down at my shirt and I was like, what? And my brain couldn't get it. I was like, wait, what? The Joe Nall in the year, the printer somehow missed it and printed all the shirts without it. And I am a big picture guy, so I never even noticed it. So my point is, I've got a couple of points. My point is, it's supposed to say Joe Nall. There's no good reason for Joe Nall to have been left off other than the error. I contacted the printer. He said, my bad. We'll do a deal next year. And so he's going to make it up. And I talked to Hightech about this. And the theory is that we've given so many shirts away. This is the first one like this. It almost makes this like a unique, specially branded. I call it the black Joe Nall shirt. I was going to say that if you put it under a blue light, it will say Joe Nall. Just don't put it under a blue light to prove me right.
It's there in spirit.
Yes, it really is. It's like I said, it was like the White Album for the Beatles. This is the black shirt for Joe Nall.
And it's a free shirt. I mean, who's going to complain, really? But
I'm disappointed. So, but at the same time, yes, it's a free shirt and it's cool. The other question was, why are they black? And I've never done a black Joe Nall shirt. And Jason knows this. I will only wear a shirt really if it's black. And so all the shirts for Hightech are black. And I said, hey, can we do black shirts? And they were like, love it. So that's why they were black this year.
Yeah.
So there you go. It's cool, the in-depth detail. Let's get around here.
And one of the t-shirts.
This is everyone. Let's see if he looks. Winner? Nope. Hey, P.S. There's no cicadas in South Carolina.
Is that for real?
Yeah, I didn't hear one. I saw one on the ground.
That's crazy.
Awesome deal.
Man, Wes did a great job here. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
this is my team giving out the shirts. And then we'll skip on over to the winner. This is the guy that won the shirt.
And I feel like I know that guy. I've seen him at many a Joe Nall.
And that's it. So I'm not sure how long that took, but it went off so well. Everyone did a great job. And you can see I'm representing here, Jason, with my little RC Groups banner. And I had the RC Groups golf cart pulled up.
Yep.
So just to be clear, this is something that RC Groups Flying Giants has done for over 20 years. And we work with Hightech to help sponsor the shirts. And I appreciate the Hightech team. They're all a bunch of great people, so be sure and support them. We'll briefly go over this. This is my Horizon.
Hey everyone, Jim T. Graham with RC Groups, Joe Nall 2024. Trying to get all the facts right. It's a little hot down here. How we doing, Jason?
Pretty good. It is a little hot today, but I will admit I appreciate that it's dry because we had a few storms roll through yesterday and the day before and made a mess of the grounds, made a mess of our booth, but we survived. Today we're having a great time and some of our it is literally the most
Jason,
heavy-duty landing gear we've had on a timber yet. You can see it's articulated independently. It is the design that we used on the Carbon Z Cub SS.
I'm pretty sure you and I said
way less than the foam wheels and tires do on the Draco.
I'm going to sidebar you here with a fact that is sort of pointless. Jason and I were talking about that if you did own this plane and you had a lot of stress in your life, you could literally keep this near your desk and just get your stress out on these tires.
Just squish it.
Free. It's an extra.
It is a bonus. We do include.
So this whole video is the master of knowledge of all Hightech things, going over all the new features of this timber and various other planes. And it's a great informational piece, and everyone seems to be very interested. So be sure and check that out. Now, that brings us to, after this, we're going to do photos. That brings us to Stuart from Hobby King. As you may or may not know, Hobby King has been under new ownership. They have a new VP who is a friend of mine. And they were representing at Joe Nall and giving away airplanes. And so we'll watch this. Maybe you skip around a little bit. This is.
Hey, everyone. Jim T. Graham with RCGroups.com. We're here at Joe Nall 2024.
Look at how red I am.
I'm just looking at everything. Make sure it's all working and going.
A bit of ghosting. We've been going crazy, actually, with 5 releases. We've done 3 so far, and we'll talk about those.
Look at this Tucano. Right, have you seen any of these?
The MFX.
It looks good.
And Tucano. And then tonight, when it gets a little bit more twilighty. It's
So this
a
is
mini
the
version
Jason Cole
of
plane.
there we go, of the EFX.
Yep.
So if you like the EFX, then and you're looking for a slightly smaller package, MFX is for you. It flies just as good as its bigger brother. It's perceived as just as fast. I don't know if it's as fast, but because it's smaller, it's the perception of it, right?
And how fast might it go?
I'm going to guess around 90 or so. But
This is the
and
new
then
Twin
shipment,
Otter.
and there's just little refinements that are going to go into this.
Two
But in the
noses.
spirit of announcements,
Comes
the
with
owners
floats.
of Hobby King wanted to really go for it here at Knoll, so we announced this probably a little early, but we announced it anyway. Now there are quite a few Twin Otters on the market for good reason. It makes a great subject choice.
And now the
The
sexiest
Twin
beast.
Otter, and then if I put this down,
And the best for last, the meanest for last, the most aggressive for
this
last.
one has been creating a lot of interest. There we go. This is the Avios Super Tucano. Now, this one is going to be actually available in the next month or so. It's going to go on pre-order in the next week or so. 1600 mil size, and it's longer than it is wider.
So there's all this information here. You can check it out in this video. Also, Jason, FYI, one of these planes is available. He released it after this video. It's actually on the site, so I'm going to create a feature article,
Cool.
and we're going to talk about it. This is very...
And then I think what they released that night that he alluded to earlier with the Twilight was a new version of the paraglider, which I'm like,
yes.
I'd
So
buy
that. This was behind the deck, and we didn't do it because he didn't release it yet. But it comes with its own light bar, unlike Jason always ran flashlights.
Yep.
And he said the money is in the sale, and I was like, that's awesome. When I was driving out the first night, they had 3 or 4 in the air, just gently flying around. It was really cool.
So cool. Love it.
At first, I thought it was those Chinese balloons, lanterns, where you light the candle and that floats. It was that. This is a crash, only 20,000, not 30,000.
That's all.
This is the least entertaining crash I've ever seen.
Yeah, my 2-year-old video now was much more spectacular.
Let's see if we can just go straight to it. So there we go.
I watched this. I think this was just a flame out, right? He just loses it. You can hear it.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh no,
now,
you're done. You can't.
Let me say something. Let me say something. While it was non-spectacular or fiery or smoky, that plane is over, right? Don't you think everything in the plane just sponged?
Yeah, it depends. Maybe the spar and wings are fine. I don't know. But yeah, it's not in good shape. Just ouch. You hate it, and there's nothing you can do as a pilot. It's like not pilot error. It's just something that happens, and you're just like, ugh, that hurts.
So I'm out collecting more videos. This is probably pretty good.
I got a mouthful scheduled.
So I got to hang out with TJ and ate lunch with Horizon, or ate dinner? Ate dinner with Horizon. Thanks, Horizon, because I wouldn't have eaten without you. And that's a great shout out to you, TJ. TJ is out there going to events all over the country and uploading awesome videos that get millions of views. And he is super nice guy.
I'll say the words for you.
Yep.
Happy to be
This is what you do for
really
event coverage when the rain is coming down. You
We're
drive
your best
around and talk.
friends. And Pete.
So anyway, that's all this. Let's jump over to our photo coverage. There's that. We'll take a look at these photos. So if you're like, I want to see everything that happened on the 3D line. And Ken is Karen's husband. He passed away, and Ken was always at Joe Nall with their whole family. And so I said, hey, what if, I know you're going to be there if you upload photos, what if we do a photo blast in memory of Ken? And she loved it. And the link is right here. I can't upload 3 pages of her photos, so you can go here and look at everything and everybody that happened at Joe Nall or at the 3D line.
Shout out to the Shaffers.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I got to give her a big hug, and we hung out a little bit. Joe Nall photo flood. Oh. So we'll start out with, and next year, everyone, I want to do this with everyone I run into. Selfies of folks that I know. Miss Ginger takes care of me she does the golf carts. and always is happy to see me and always takes care of me. And I walked up on her in an altercation with someone who had, in the earliest days of Joe Nall, Jason, I always, somebody had an issue with a golf cart. Like, it was the Flying Giants days where they would do all kinds of crazy stuff. I've seen people take
shenanigans.
Yes. And I saw that some shenanigans that were going down and she was taking care of it. And I was like, the old days. She didn't think of it that way, though.
That's funny.
I was like, that's great. Me and Colton Clark.
Colton.
I don't know who this dog is, but he loved me and I loved him.
Keep
so
uppers.
And of course, the godfather of Joe Nall,
Mr. Pat Hartness.
And then me and TJ on the demo line. And we won't go through everything here, but I'll just give you a tour. So this is what the banner looks like after it rains like crazy.
Yeah, it stretched out a little bit.
And proof that the RC Group's golf cart was in action. And I guess that's me showing you how muddy it was. So let's jump back out and go to some bigger views. This is the Horizon tent. So they were out in full force. They had lots of airplanes and lots of pilots. Who is that, Frank Knoll? No. Oh, these are, who these guys are, Jason? These are the Tennessee boys.
I recognize them. Yeah.
When I got my own tent on the main line, they lived there.
Yep.
So every year they asked me, where's our tent? so next year I said I'd get a big tent and say the Tennessee boys on the top. And then this is the main line. And my goal here is to go through and just try to highlight every plane I see on the line. That's a good shot. Need to crop it and make it bigger. This is Saul. Saul had the raffle this year. You won a plethora of things. He also, I'm going by memory here, his YouTube channel is Plain RC, and he does really great videos that I will share quite often. So it was great to see him. And once again, we're looking at every plane on Earth. If I went through every one, you'd just leave the channel immediately. But everything's, I know this, you're a modeler, but these are all hand built and they're all different and cool and unique.
So when I go to this thread, I click on the first photo thumbnail and it opens it up in the RC Group's image viewer. And then I just click the arrow button and you just go through all of them that way. And, in a much larger size. We can't do that right now, obviously, but it'd take too long. But if you want to kill some time and see all the good sights at Joe Nall, that's how you do it.
So evidently now I'm rolling down the road and I'm cruising by the lake, and there was a little lake activity. So I caught all of that.
Beautiful lake to fly from.
And then this is the electric line. That doesn't do it justice at all. I mean, where I was sitting, it was huge.
It's like relative. It's a good, like that in itself would be a decent sized good field for just about anywhere. But in the scope of the vastness of the Joe Nall site at Triple Tree, it just, it looks smaller than it should be.
And then this is sitting on the road looking down at the 3D line. I just thought it was a good shot of the tower and all that. And that was the top of the iceberg for campers.
World War II era control tower. Pretty stinking cool piece of art.
Gotta watch out for the wasps. So we'll jump out. And this is just all kinds of shots of the electric line. What are you laughing at?
The mud apocalypse. Oh. Yeah.
And so here's the deal. You're like, there's only mud on the side of the road. Well, it's a 1-lane road. And nobody's staying in the middle.
With two-way traffic. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're I was coming down the hill at night and there was an 81-year-old man and I'm like, you need a ride? So I took him down here to the electric line. And then I said, I'll take you to your trailer. Well, he had a cane, So when he pulled off the road, he said, now you're going to get stuck. And I thought, the golf cart won't get stuck. And immediately I was stuck. And he had to walk his way to his trailer.
Oh, man.
I immediately felt responsible. I needed to go get him. So this is all electric line. Now we're cruising down the road and Flying Giant shirt. Hung out with these guys a little while. And we're making it down to the 3D line. And then this is my RC Group shirts photos. This is a picture of the winner of the Charger one more time.
Yep.
And Now we're back. Now it's a noontime demo. So let's see if I got any really good shots. This is a potential good shot. And more jet and smoke. That's good. And I think there's some lows. Yep. So these are pretty good demo shots, giving you an idea of what's going on down there. I did hang out with David Payne, Jason, and
There's DP. Yeah.
And big hey to Kim. I told Jason, or I told David, be sure and tell Kim that we were thinking of her. And
oh, she wasn't down there this year. Yeah. Okay.
No, she hasn't been down there in a while.
Yeah.
Here we go. Pretty good. I kept the nose in the shot. Pretty good.
Getting low.
I'm always looking for the hero shot of the show. And then here's a great idea of the crowd. This is just in front of me, so I'm sure I started going to the left and right. And then maybe down the line. And just trying to give an idea of the hugeness of the event.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Andrew Griffith was out on the main line with me. This is Danny from Powerbox. Got a good talk with Danny. Danny, I'll be calling you. This is cool. You know, I have a video of this. How is it not in my video thing?
Oh, yeah. Hovering jet doing a loop around the other one. Yeah.
Right. And I got a video. I guess it didn't make it in. More. So what we're doing here is showing you the vast hugeness of the largest RC show that you'll probably ever attend.
Yeah, and it is this event. I mean, while they do have the electric line and some of the stuff with smaller planes, like at the main line where the demos happen, it's mostly all giant scale gas, some electric, turbine, big, expensive, amazing aircraft. Everywhere you look, it's just incredible sight to see.
This is the shot of the show, if you ask me.
So low. That's so low. That's crazy.
That's Colton.
Yep.
He did go lower, and I just wasn't there in time. I'm sure I was saying something. I was sure I was saying something.
Scraping the grass with the flaps down.
Let's go to the bottom and just see what we got. So I shot per usual over 500 shots. I did edit out things that weren't good, or at least I tried to. And I just want to see where we ended everything. And this is the vendor line. I had a lot of great talks on the vendor line. I met Sam from Heli Direct, the owner, and then I had a great talk with FR Sky.
Yeah,
and he gave me this whole thing about the 4 stages of being a FR Sky owner, and you know, I think I'm saying it wrong. I tried to get him to tell me how to say it right, and I didn't do it right, but he's going to come on the show, and we're going to talk about the transmitter.
I want to, looking at the name there, I want to call it Frisky.
Frisky. I always say, I told him what I always say, and he's like, yeah, that's not it. But he said, you know, everybody calls it whatever they want.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I also got to talk to Scale RC Engines, and they're a new advertiser on the site. I stood there, and then finally he goes, what can I help you with? And I said, I'm Jim Graham. And he was like, oh. So he had no idea. And we talked for a while. So anyway, that's kind of the whole point. I feel like I'm getting lost now in the vastness of the show.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm sad I wasn't there. I'm sure anybody else watching this that wasn't there is sad that they weren't there. So I'm going to try to make plans next year. We're going to try to work it out, get down there, see if the company will cover it, and we'll go do even more photos, more coverage, more videos, more RC groups content.
Yes.
The works.
We could easily double what we're looking at here. I hung out with Aducias and took this family photo. And then on my way up the hill, I believe we're into people. Yes. So if I took a picture of you and you saw me do it, you're located in this thread right here.
There you go.
One of the things I'm always looking for is interesting camping setups and interesting vehicle devices to carry planes from area to area. What do we have here? More lake, and then I must be wrapping it up at this point because the sun's about to go down. There it is. Oh, and thank you, Richie.
Oh, he appreciated it.
So one other thread. Where are we at here? Oh, we're right at our kind of time limit. One other. There's no limit really. Oh, that's a self-imposed limit. One other thread that you might want to look at that everyone seemed to really love. Let me go into the Joe Nall. Oh, I gotta. So I want to thank our event coverage sponsor, Zap Glue. Go check them out. They have a glue for everything. And you can check out the Zap app, which Jason and I have talked about before. You can input wood and leather or plastic and metal, and it'll tell you the exact glue that you need to buy.
Pretty cool.
They will answer the phone, take care of you down there. The video that I was going to talk about was the Hobby King new plane release. This is one thread, and in it is every release that Hobby King made, from the racer to, and in fact, if I'm doing it right, I've included photos where I could, as much information as I could on all the releases. And there is that. And here is this.
See my sweaty face?
So he's waiting for people to come. So there's your
That being said,
paraglider.
we're live now, and I've been launching
Yeah.
this and I haven't messed it up yet. Let's see if this is the time that I actually mess it up. Because if I do, well, then, you know, it's either a hobby or exactly.
They're gonna see how durable that thing is.
I'm not seeing it on the screen though.
Maybe we can go out onto the actual
You're just hearing the audio.
Here we go. So Stuart's about to launch it, and he's concerned about his ability.
Now, this if you really
I never got why so many people have problem launching these things. Maybe it's just because I flew the real ones and it's naturally
Part of its own.
You never got what?
why people had so much trouble launching RC paragliders. And I'm like, I flew a lot of kites and flew the real paragliders in real life. So I'm like, maybe it just came natural to me, but I've never had a problem.
The light bar is right here.
Yeah. Should shine up on the canopy very nicely.
And it's like an L shape too.
Yeah.
So I know he waited until near evening, but I think they also had to jet out of town.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we are going to watch him do it. I want to see him do it. Let me make this bigger. So some of these videos like this are literally broadcast out of this field. So if the resolution isn't high, there's probably a reason
the signal, the cell phone signal is not great there. You're not going to get high quality footage live out at that event.
I could barely look at anything on my phone. I was down on the 3D line trying to change. I forget what I was doing, but it needed to be done. And I was like, oh, I give up. All right, here we go.
So I can just tell you, looking at what he's doing, he could lay out his wing better for a better launch. It's kind of all balled up right there, which is, it can work, but it's not ideal.
Okay, he's throttling up.
I may do this 2 or 3 times before it feels right, but let's see. Okay, launching.
Hang on 2 seconds. Wait for me.
We good? All right, launching.
No problem.
Turn left.
And there we go.
Turn left.
Much more. You can loop it if you really go into it, but that's not a territory I've explored yet myself. But look at that. Super, super stable. It's a very, very nice, calm, charming flyer.
Ooh, charming.
And it's the most relaxing way to fly, but it's a very different way to fly. Nice.
So what I'm excited about this is most of the paragliders before are like pretty expensive. Like you got to be really into it and want to do it, which made it more niche-y than it really even is on its own. But I think with some of these, if it flies that good the way it looks, I'm sure it's going to be much more affordable than other ones out there. So it makes it more accessible. The more people that get into it, I think the better, because it's just a fun, unique aircraft that Hobby King is bringing to market for us. So
it's always a crowd pleaser, and I'm not talking about just RC events. Like if you're at anything where there was an open pasture and you throw this up, people love to watch it.
When we used to go to the drive-in movie theater, I'd take mine with Woody flying, as the pilot and fly it around for the kids. They loved it.
Speaking of cool things that are crowd pleasers, I probably should wait to say this until it actually happens, but Jason and I should be getting for review the new RC motorcycle from Horizon. And, I got to say, I've reviewed so many things in my life. I don't know what the number would be, but
yeah, it's a lot.
Getting excited when you're like, oh, Oh, this is cool.
Yeah, and it's not an aircraft even, like, that tells you
Right.
even that much more.
And so it has Jason, it has a gyro on board, but it also has a, oh man, the gyro is a computer, but it also has some sort of thing in it that spins that is mechanical. And that's what allows it to do the wheelies and stay upright and do all the things that it does.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Yeah.
When I was talking to Jason, he was like, you and Jason, when you do reviews together, it's always awesome. Do you guys want to review two of these motorcycles? And I'm like, yes. I was like, wow, this is so cool. I was very, very stoked.
Yeah, and I've got some places where we can take them to some dirt jumps and things for
cool.
mountain bikes. Oh yeah, I got the hookup for that.
I want to be sure and thank everyone who stopped me and talked to me and shook my hand and sat around and talked. I thought it was interesting. I've always been just a guy from RC groups, and somehow now I think it's the mindset of people watch YouTube and there's influencers, and then they have people that they follow. And so a lot more people were like, you're the guy from YouTube. So there's a whole new batch of people watching things out there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know what it's like when you walk up to someone, because I was standing next to someone and I felt like, should I talk to this guy? Do I know him? And then I was like, or maybe I just know him from the internet. And it was an influencer, and I couldn't remember who he was. But I'm sure he was looking at me like, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know if I know you or not. That didn't look weird. But anyway, it was awesome. And let me turn this off in the background.
Well, good job on the coverage, man. I know solo operating, doing all that by yourself and meeting people and talking vendors and all the stuff you had to do while you're there is a lot. So well done. I'm excited. You're recovering still.
Thank you. Yes, I'm almost back. I was excited that I got as much as I did. And big thanks to everyone out there who creates all that great event coverage. There was I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of your company, but there was a guy shooting every flight. And I said, I would love to share your content. And he doesn't have it all up yet, but that'll be up in our Nall coverage. And once again, big thanks to Zap for sponsoring the event coverage this year. Thanks to Hightech for sponsoring the shirts. And I had a great time. I had one beautiful day, and that's all I really needed between the rains.
There you go.
Well, Jason,
hopefully next year will be good too.
Yep. Thanks for joining us. I have new ideas for next year. So I can't wait to implement. I should write these down while they're in my head.
Yes.
And knock it out. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Be sure and hit like and subscribe and share this video around if you can. I did have, and this is for you, Jason, I did have people say, I know you from RC News. And so we've always done RC News for years, but we've never done it consecutively and weekly and dedicated the way we are. And people enjoy it. So
good. It's good to hear for sure.
Yeah. Thanks to all of y'all is my point. And thanks to the whole team at Triple Tree who take care of me and make sure I've got everything I need. And they're all just cool. They're volunteers. Remember that, y'all. All right. I'm Jim T. Graham. That's Jason Cole. And we're RC Groups, Flying Giants, and HeliFreak.com. We're out of here. Be sure and go to the site and check out all the Nall event coverage. There will be more. Yes. You and your fireworks. Nothing happens here. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching the recap of Joe Nall 2024. There's no way I've done it justice. There's just so much to see and experience and so much awesomeness. When I talk to non-RC people and they're like, now, where did you go? And I just show a couple of videos of jets and Jace flying. They're like blown away. I don't know what people think when I say RC, but when I show them what it actually is, it's amazing. Big thanks to our RC News sponsor, CNHL. Go check them out, and there'll be a link below. You can see what kind of deal they're running this week. Big thanks to Zap Adhesive for being my event coverage sponsor. It's just glue that you can trust, and the Zap app will help you figure out which glue you need. Big thanks to Hightech for being our shirt sponsor and making sure that happened this year, and just being cool and a great company to work with and a big part of the hobby. And then finally, big thanks to Triple Tree, to everyone involved that makes that whole show go down, the people that I deal with that make sure I'm taken care of. And they just do it so effortlessly, or it looks like it's effortless, and great attitudes, and just fun folks to be around. Well, they just happen to produce the largest RC event in the world. It's awesome. Everyone, I've already said it, but be sure and like and hit all the buttons. That helps me get the RC word out farther, and that's really what this show is all about. Jim T. Graham. I'll see you next week.